Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man, Sergio, aka the floor price guy. And we're Combat Sport Guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown, this time in the form of UFC Fight Night. Rene the Ritter taking on Brendan Allen, who he was originally supposed to take on Anthony Hernandez, but he pulled out within 2 weeks or 3 weeks' notice. I don't recall. But before we do that, let's go over last week. UFC Rio, Charles Oliveira submitted and dismantled the individual in Mateus Gamrot, who everybody thought was going to come in with the wrestle heavy game plan and take him down and drag him out to a decision. What a performance in Rio. He wasn't going to lose in Brazil, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Let me share the prop bet because like Gamrot this and Gamrot sold these MFers a bunch of wolf tickets, bro. Literally wolf tickets. No, Gamrot's wrestling. Gamrot, dude. Like, what about Charles's submission? Like, what? It didn't make me mad, bro. But you can see, bro. I went because what I do every time I bet, I reset the deck. I don't do the unit stuff like these other boys. I take profit and then I reliquidate the account. Like I re-added it in the account. But I gotta say, I mean, Charles didn't surprise us. The only thing that I was a little bit concerned about was in the second round, he started to not respect Gamrot's striking abilities. I don't know if you saw he got caught. Like Gamrot was throwing, he was just absorbing it. And I was a little bit not a worry, but I'm like, bro, like you gotta come, like you can't do that. Like you gotta. So immediately he switched it up, took him down, got the sub, but that was expected at a minus. His minus, it was insane. But yeah, happy I put on it. Live bets as well. I mean, Mario Pinto by stoppage, TKO, KO, right?
Yeah, the game plan. Yeah, that's the game plan. That's the game plan to beat the knees, right? Take him down.
But that's not what he's known for, and then that's what shocked a lot of people, right? Because
he could. Well, I said in the breakdown, I said if he does secure a takedown, because he does have a ground game on him. But I just thought that Denise's striking was going to be too good, and his takedown defense up against somebody like Alvin Hines, who was on steroids, looked okay, right? He stopped 2 of 10 or whatever it was, so 8 of 10. I'm sorry, but yeah, he took him down and controlled him. So
yeah, and like for a plus 300, I looked at the odds, and I'm like, he's going to get the KO TKO. What scared me a little bit when he go to the first round, and he tried to submit him, and I'm like, man, this guy could tap. So now my plus money can kind of go away, but he got it done. But I really believe that if that fight stayed on the feet, Pinto would have knocked him out as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Denise is a better striker, but yeah, it showed how well rounded he is. It showed how well rounded he is. So good win. Davidson Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. For me, the big takeaway is Montel Jackson needs to. I think he needs to consider a new division, man. I don't know if the weight cuts too much. Yeah, big. I don't know if the weight cuts too much for him because he doesn't look as fluid. His movement, it just doesn't look good, man.
But we talked about it, right? Like, and that's why, like, I uploaded that clip. Montel's the bigger guy, and like he's knocked out a lot of power. But I think at that more like the top 15, you need more than just power in those divisions. You need footwork. And that's what Figueroa was able to, and that's why I used the term stuck in the mud. Figgy was able to kind of go in and out. Amazing, right? I chose Figgy, but I wasn't really confident because I'm like, well, you know what? I'm confident for the pick, but not for the bet. I should have listened to my intuition, but he got it done. Now, if I'm Montel Jackson, like you said, I don't think it's a weight division. I just think he needs another striking coach that's going to work on entries because he was so slow, bro. It was like because he's just relying on that reach, right? He's relying on the reach.
I think he'll benefit moving up. I think he will benefit
for featherweight.
Yeah, I think he'd benefit that. A lot healthier, a lot more filled out. And then when you're like Daniel Cormier talks about it, when you're a grappler, the bigger you are in weight division, the easier the grappling gets, right? So, but the skill level of featherweight's very, very vast and well-rounded. So that'd be difficult.
Yeah, but
I think he'd look better because he's big, right? Because like you said, he's big.
Bro, like when that fight started, I told myself, you got a guy that could go back to flyweight, and you got a guy in Montel Jackson that could go to featherweight. Like it was insane, but yeah, brother. Maybe like you said, maybe it's the cut, but I just don't like those flat feet, man. Those Michael Johnson have better footwork, and it's not a good sign, bro. And then I think my another live bet Beatriz Mesquita by submission. This was not a surprise. Um, when we talked about her, I forgot that when I discovered her was in UFC BJJ, and I remember putting like she was putting the brakes on her opponent. And I'm like, after the fight, watching a little bit of clipping, bro, and she had hands, man. Like it was such a beatdown. Like it was just insane. Again, another fight where I put bet money in the submission minus 140, but she was gonna get the TKO almost. So that was impressive. And I mean, highlights of the nights, they were all good fights, man. It's just that one fight with Ramos and Oflin.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, where the guy did four fence grabs, and it's just like it's not. Nobody really gives a fuck, but it's like, bro was doing the calf slicer, grabs the submission, a couple like it needs to be better, bro. It really because that messed up my parlay, and I'm looking at it from a perspective of like, come on, man, like fuck the parlay, but we need to be better in MMA. Reset the position, then stop, reset the position. I don't know. But other than all, it was a good fight. Lots of finishes too, right? Lots of TKOs and
Almeida,
KOs.
man, they shouldn't have let Almeida fight with the broken hand. He
Well,
did not use that right hand at all, bro. He was throwing left straights, left jabs. Like, what are we doing?
the question is, do they do an investigation and determine?
Yeah,
Because
they're in Brazil, brother. The favela, man. The paperwork got lost in the favelas, bro.
that was insane, though. I had money on that guy, on not Almeida, the other guy, Maxwell. But then Carpenter messed up my parlay a bit. So
Yeah, Filio, and it's what I said. Filio was compromised last time out, so it was a good fight. It could have gone either way, like we said. And Filio and at home got the sub, looked good.
yeah, the reversal when because he reversed them, and then that's when the issue was he got the Kimura, and then it's like, man, you got to keep it standing, bro. You got to
Yeah,
keep. It's
yeah,
the wrestler versus jiu-jitsu, and like a lot of Brazilian ones, the only Almeida, and then a couple of all the what do you call it? All the prelim fighters except Ramos won, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. It
Yeah,
was a
it
good
was a
night
good
for
card.
Brazil. Good card, fun card. But now we have the boys out in Canada, right? Renee De Ritter taking on Brendan Allen in a main event, 5 rounds. Do you think this is a title eliminator?
No, well,
No.
if the Ritter is able to outperform what Imavov did, I think he's next in line.
Okay.
I think he will. I think he gets it done. I think the Ritter is the top dog.
Right on. We'll move on here to the first fight of the night. We have Melissa Croden taking on Tainara Lisboa. Croden is making her UFC debut. She's coming over from the LFA. She's a striker with a background in Taekwondo and Muay Thai. She has spent some time training in Thailand. I forget that gym. What's that famous gym in Thailand? Tiger Fury or what's it?
Tiger,
Tiger,
White.
yeah. She was Muay Thai Tiger or whatever. She was out there. Lisboa on the other end is also a striker. She's a former 2-time Muay Thai champion. She has that background. She can fight decent enough on the ground. However, her takedown defense isn't the best. Last time out against Santos, she was taken down and submitted. And Lisboa is getting up there in age, man. She's going up against an individual who's fighting at home in Canada, who's making her UFC debut. Similar kind of fighting styles, who I think has the better offensive grappling. She's going to be faster. It's going to be a good fight. I think she's going to get her in the clinch, maybe secure some takedowns, but Croden should win here. I'm going to go with Croden to get it done.
Yeah, no, we're both going. I thought you were always going with Lisboa. I was like,
No.
I'm going with Lisboa. I think the question everybody has in their mind is basically, what happens if Lisboa takes her down? I think that's been the sentiment
Yeah.
internet. That's the sentiment with the BJJ thing. Does she have the capability? Because, dude, like Croden is a great striker. Like she likes to pin girls against the cage. She likes to beat them up a little bit.
Mhm.
I've seen her last fight against Ashley Dean, and that second round, she comes up and her striking is above average of women's MMA. And this is being respectful because we know that when the Rousey generation came in, it was striking, right? And then every girl was like here with her striking, but then Amanda Nunes came in and displayed,
Knocked everybody out. Yeah.
yeah, knocked everybody out. So terrific striking. I'm not saying that this is the girl, but her technique is very refined. I'm gonna go with that. I just like the control. My only wonder, and similar to you, is what happens if she gets the takedown? How does she react? Like how how versatile is she under pressure? And then yeah, I'm gonna go with Melissa Croden. I was gonna put money off the bat, and I just realized that we talked about this before the air. Is that Croden moved to a favorite now? She started at a plus 130, went to a plus 105, and now is seeing at a minus 130. So people are seeing the striking. I don't know.
At home, they're looking at all the variables. She's younger. She's at home.
Home too.
They're probably watching tape too, so that's good. I hope. Yeah, so we're both going with Croton to get it done. I just think she's going to be lighter on the feet. She's going to be faster. Her movement's going to be a little better. She should be able to get a win here. We'll move on to our next bout. We have Azamat Bekoyev taking on Yurzi Belgaru. I might have mispronounced that. I apologize. Belgaru is making his UFC debut, coming off a win on the Contender Series. He is what everybody's talking about this week, or they're going to be talking about, the training partner. He has trained with Pereira, and he was his rival in Glory Kickboxing, right? He has a kickboxing background, limited grappling. He's big, though, for a middleweight. He's 6'5", going to be big for the division. His takedown defense will be tested here against Azamat Bekoyev, right? And I don't think he's going to be able to let his hands go out of the fear of the takedown. When you look at Bekoyev, he was initially positioned to fight Torres Finney, right? And then that fight got scrapped. So now they're giving him a kickboxer, right? They gave him a grappler last time out in Ryan Loder, who's a Division I wrestler, right? And he did fucking easy work of him. This guy's well-rounded, man. He can grapple, he could submit you, he could strike you. He came in on short notice against Reese McKee in his freaking UFC debut, and he pummeled him. He took him to the ground. He dropped him and then hit him with that vicious ground and pound, right? So he's fought like a mixture of fighters. He fought like I mentioned last time, they gave him a wrestler in Ryan Loder, and now they're giving him a kickboxer. So we're going to see how he does here. But I think he's the more well-rounded fighter. He's going to be able to take down Belgaru and get a finish here, man.
I mean, look, immediately I saw who Anza Bekove was, saw that face. He's been a little bit more active online. He's been trying to kind of be better with social media, and he is good. He's a good guy. I'm gonna back him off. I already put a parlay bet. I was just like logging on my DraftKings account to see what odds did I get him at, because he was sitting at a minus 290, which is it's. I mean, it's a favorite. Don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to see if I picked them up for lesser than that. Also, shout out to Juan Diaz. Did you see the knockout last night of the Contender Series?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, bro, that was beautiful.
Spinning back fist, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, elbow, yeah.
that was beautiful. I have to say, champ. Okay, so yeah, I picked him up at a minus 290. He's still sitting at around that line, so they haven't given him more money. Hasn't been thrown. I wonder why, because, bro, his grappling is pretty legit. Like, he has very good grappling. They're sitting right now at a minus 290 right now. And yeah, I respect Usry. I respect Usry. Just let me see what his last kind of opponents have been. 1 second. Contender Series, right? This is a very tough matchup for Usry, but I'm going to go with Amza. Let's see if he gets it done.
Azamat Bekoyev, we're both picking him to get it done. We'll move on to a women's straw weight bout. We have Stephanie Luciano taking on Ravena Oliveira. Luciano has decent striking fundamentals. She primarily focuses on maintaining range and picking her shots, right? She does have some knockout power. She got the KO in the Contender Series. And her grappling is solid last time out. She had issues with Sam Hughes, right? Sam Hughes has kind of proven to be the prospect killer, right? She dismantled Shauna Bannon last time out, that people thought for some reason was going to be a good prospect. She came in around the time of like the McGregor era, right, with all the Irish fighters. So she had a backing, but Sam Hughes is a dog, man. So that's a tough fight for a young individual in Luciano, who's only 25 years old.
Yeah.
But she's good, man. I like her here. She, her grappling is good, because if you look at her fight against Talita Alencar, she was able to control her on the ground, not get submitted, defend some of the submission attempts, and really have top control in that fight. She's going up against Oliveira, who hasn't fought in, how long has it been? 2 years. Oh well, exactly. It's been
It's years.
a year, 2 years. So, she's also dropping from bantamweight to strawweight. She's a Muay Thai striker, likes to come forward, close the distance, looks to get you in the clinch and drag you down to the ground. I don't know, man. New weight division up against an up and comer and Stephanie Luciano's. I think she's good. I think she's well rounded. I don't know how she's gonna look, man. I don't know how Oliveira's gonna look. So I'm gonna go with Luciano.
Yeah, I'm also backing Lucian. I thought like one of my wrenches fell. I'm like, nah, that's a 15, it's like a 10 cent. I'm gonna go with Luciano. I didn't like what I saw from Oliveira. Like you said, like more than anything, the backing that Talita Alankar has, she has the grappling advantage. That's simply, and Stephanie was able to kind of like deal with that, navigate that. Um, there's more reach. It's not that much, but I think it will be enough. I see the odds here. She started at a minus 350. She's sitting down right now at a minus 298. I literally dropped the parlay with Croden and her right now for a plus 160. So yeah,
Right on. We're both going with Luciano to get it done. My man throwing her in the parlay. See how that goes.
yes,
Next up, we have Kyle Prepelic taking on Drew Dober. If you remember Prepelic, he came in on short notice to take on Benoit Saint Denis at UFC. What was it, 314 or was it that one? I think it was
yeah,
UFC 314. Yeah,
yeah.
he took him on at UFC 314. He looked scared. I remember you kept saying that guy looked like he didn't want to be there. I'm just looking for my notes here on this cat. Right, Prepelic versus Dober.
Yeah, it was a short notice replacement. I was trying to remember who was going to fight him.
Ben was it supposed to be? I forgot who it was supposed to be. Who was he supposed to fight?
That's the thing. I don't remember. Maybe it was like, no, I don't remember. But that was his coming back party fight to him.
Yeah, yeah. So Prepelic is a southpaw boxer. He has power behind his shots. He was on a 3-fight KO streak prior to taking on Benoit Saint Denis. He was taken down and he was submitted on his UFC debut via triangle choke. He's going up against an individual in Drew Dober, who's a durable brawler with that big head, that solid chin, right? He has heavy hands and solid grappling defense. He has knockout power. His weakness, however, and we're kind of seeing it here. If you look at his last 5 bouts, he's on a skid, man. He's 4-5, but
Yeah.
look at the level of competition. Manuel Torres, killer. Gene Silva, killer. Renato Moicano, unanimous decision loss. He beat Ricky Glenn via KO, and then he lost to Matt Fervola via KO TKO. So, is Drew Dober at that point in his career when he's kind of like on the downward trend, right? Is he going down? Is Prepelic gonna be able to utilize that boxing and get him out of there, piece him up, out strike him, out volume him? I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Dober just based on the level of competition that he's faced, right? In the UFC. And if he loses here, man, it's gonna be bad, in my opinion. But I'm gonna go with Dober here to get it done. He
Even
should be
the
able to win.
even the with the Renato Moicano, didn't Dober connected on Moicano? I kind of remember that Dober kind of connected, was gonna finish him, didn't. Or am I thinking about Jaden, the other Jaden? Maybe it's that one.
You think of Jalen Turner when he dropped
Yeah,
him and
but I'm pretty sure something happened with Moicano. But I'm gonna back Dober. Like, listen, no, like Kovalev Prevlak, where I see him having the advantage is the grappling advantage. But when it comes to speed, power, and kill, I think Dober knocks him out in the not in the first round, but a plus 100. I just dropped it. I just dropped it right now because why would you pick Dober for a if you like Dober, why would you put him on a parlay for a minus 520? I think there's no money to be made there. Let's be honest with
yeah.
each other. Now the only thing we're not attributing is the Canadian Vancouver. Maybe this guy gets a little bit more inspired, right? Maybe Dober is injured. Like, I don't know. Maybe he slips on a banana peel. But I'm gonna go with Dober, man. I'm gonna be respectful to Prevlock. Dober gets it done. I'm betting a KO on this one, plus 100. Because I don't, like I said, bro, ain't nobody. Yeah, man, crazy if you're putting 520 on Dover to make $100.
Mm-hmm. Right on. We'll move on here to Danny Barlow taking on Jordan Santos. Danny Barlow's moving up from welterweight to middleweight. This is going to be his middleweight debut. Santos last time out, we saw him up against Ozzy Diaz. It was a close fight, and in that fight, I remember, man, he looked like his cardio was fucking depleting in the second round, third round. And, when you look at him, he's a Brazilian. He has crisp striking, he has good 1-2 combos and clinch entries, solid grappling. He's durable and he can adapt over 3 rounds. Doesn't necessarily go for the finish. He kind of just hangs in there. Barlow, as I mentioned, he's making his middleweight debut. We're going to see how he looks. He's a versatile striker with a kickboxing background, blended sharp punches, knees, and kicks. He's got good punching power, right? The left hand of God, I think that's his name. Yep, left hand to God. Uh, he has solid wrestling too. It's going to be an interesting fight, man. Him making his UFC, not his UFC, his middleweight debut. I think he's going to look more filled out. Maybe the cut at welterweight wasn't doing him justice, right? I think he's going to get it done here, man. I didn't like how Santos looked in the second and third round. And, arguably you could say that Ozzy Diaz won that fight. So I think Barlow's going to be more filled out. He's going to look good in this weight class. He's going to have that power. He should be able to get it done.
Yeah, well, and he did win, right? Um,
He lost. He got knocked out by Patterson. Remember Patterson was a dog?
oh no, no,
Everybody.
sorry, I'm thinking about Diaz. I thought you were talking Diaz and Santos.
Oh,
They were,
Santos lost. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Santos lost. I'm sorry. I thought he won. Shit.
no, no, he lost. He lost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was close. It was close. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
so
it was
sorry.
close. Let me just check right away because
I've messed that up. My fault.
no, it's okay. It's okay. That's why I was like, no, no, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Just let me go to. Want to look at my boy Santos just to kind of see their J. I like their J Santos. I just don't know like if I like him here. Facing guys can have a little bit more reach. You could, yeah. I mean, I think that's what it was. It was just basically the Aussie had more strike in the second and third. Um, there was a takedown that was a I wouldn't say sloppy fight, but I think the takeaway fight is the how the fighter looked in that fight, right? Like
Mhm.
he didn't look like a winner. He looked sloppy. It was just one of those things, right? And Ozzy Diaz needed that kind of victory to kind of just so he doesn't lose his UFC career. I'm gonna go with Barlow. I think the power and then you have the reach is going to be a little bit of a test for him. Now, the Santos grapple him. I think that's where the question is. Um,
He has good wrestling, good enough takedown defense. I don't
yeah,
think Santos is that good enough of a offensive grappler. I mean, he might try to get him in the clinch and drag him down because he's a long guy.
yeah, and like I'm thinking about. I saw Law School MMA. That's Matt Serra and the boys. Oh no, that's another one. Oh shit, I thought it was. Sorry, never mind. That's another. I thought it was Law MMA with Chris Weidman and Longo, but it's not. I'm gonna go with Barlow. The reach is gonna be a little bit of a tricky thing for Santos to navigate.
Right on. We're both going with Barlow. We'll move on here to Bruno Silva taking on Hyun Sung Park. This is an interesting fight, man. They got Bruno Silva as a plus 200 dog up against Hyun Sung Park. Let me look for this real quick. Silva, he's 3-5 in his last 5 bouts. His last 2 losses are to top 5 guys, man. Right? Manel Kopp, he got KO'd, and then he lost to Joshua Van KO. Both, I mean, Joshua Van's fighting for the title. It just got announced, right? And Manel Kopp could have been fighting for the title, but he consistently pulls out of fights, right? He hasn't been as active as he should be. Silva's well rounded. He has power behind his strikes. He has good wrestling, grappling. He has 4 finish wins. He's going up against Park, who's primarily a grappler. Last time out, he was set to face Kai Kara France. No, not Kai Kara France. Steve Erceg. And then he got shuffled around. That was supposed to be a 3-round fight. He was given Tetsuro Taira, who's another guy who's in the top 5, and a 5-round main event, right? On a week's notice or 2 weeks' notice. And, he lost that fight. That doesn't take anything away from him. That was a bad fight for him stylistically, I would say. 2 grapplers.
Yeah,
So Park is a grappler. He looks to take you down. He pursues the takedown. And once on the ground, he looks to work and chase submissions. Uh, I want to pick Bruno Silva here, man, because the level of competition. Does
Mark.
Park take him down and control him? Do you see that happening? Do you see him just being relentless?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the dog, man. I'm gonna go with Bruno Silva.
well, and that's what I was gonna say. That's what you're kind of betting on now. At that point, you are literally betting on the fact that what's the word I'm looking for here? You're betting on the fact that Park doesn't get taken. Like he can't take Park down. Bruno is a good bet here. I mean, he's not a bad bet. Even like in his last outing, bro wasn't even prepared for 5 rounds. You know, he got paired up with Tyra, which is Tyra is like a wizard on the ground. But already Tyra's been training with that upper level athlete, like competition too. It's hard to deny like what Park could do to him, but let me see. And they're all finishes, man, eh?
Yep.
They're all finishes. Like this guy's no joke. Both of them. I'm gonna go with Park, man. I'm gonna start with Park here. Um, but I mean, I think this particular fight, under 2.5. I think that's actually a very good bet. Taking consideration the fact that these two individuals have finishes in there. What's the under? Under 1.5 is plus 160. I think it lasts a little bit more. Over. Yeah, over 210. Yeah, there it is. I
Yeah,
think
you're going with Park.
Park
I'm going with
Silva.
Silva to get it done. We'll move on here to our next bout. We have our featured prelim, Charles Jourdain taking on Davy Grant. Now, what do we know about Davy Grant? He's 39 years old and he's been looking good. He's an active striker. He has nice leg kicks that can either fight in close or at range. His striking is more technical than Jourdain, I would say. He moves forward and lands with a ton of volume. Last time out, he beat Damon Blackshirt after dropping the first round when he was taken down. And in the second and third, he picked it up by throwing more volume and putting a pace on Blackshirt, right? That ultimately won him the fight. Uh, Going up against Charles Jourdain, who's now at bantamweight, and since being at bantamweight, he's looked good. He last time beat Victor Henry via submission, guillotine choke, I believe it was. Yes, it was a guillotine choke. He mixes in his striking combinations really well. He does push a pace, and despite getting that win up against Victor Henry, he was taken down 4 times. He was able to jump the ghillie and put him out. And I just think he looks way better at bantamweight, man. At featherweight, he had his issues up against, the likes of Gene Silva, Sean Woodson. I think Jourdain, man, at home, this is gonna be like a one of those breakout performances. I think, man, he's young. He's 29 years old. He's entering into that prime, that 30, 31, 32, that age, right? That like 5 year age. I think he gets it done here, man. I like Jourdain in this spot, and I really do respect Grant, like what he's been able to do in his last 3 fights, 4 fights. But I think Jourdain gets it done at home.
That listen, that's my guy right there, bro. Damien Grip. Every time we always put plus money on him. I'm just sad. I'm getting at a plus one. What's the word? Like a plus 142. I'm gonna go with Grant here, bro. This motherfucker, bro. I don't know what like. He's good, bro. Charles Jourdain is also good, but like I said, one of the key things that I like about David Grant is his weaponized pace. Now, interesting. Why does Charles Jourdain like at a plus? Well, in the topology ranks, they have him at a plus 13. But if anything, Davy has fought Marcos, which Marco was close to entering that top 15 against Montel Jackson. I find, yeah, this is super intriguing. I have to go check the
No,
odds.
Davy Grant's the dog.
No,
Plus
I know,
145.
but no, 100%. But they have him where I'm puzzled. Like, why is he ranked plus 13 bantamweight when he hasn't really beat anybody at bantamweight versus Davy? He's been cooking shop there. I'm gonna go with Davy Grant. I think he gets it done. I think he's gonna weaponize the pace. Um, Jourdain has shown to be quite. He's evolved, man. Because submit you could also knock you out. But I'm gonna go with Davy Grant. He gets it
Right
done.
on. Moving with Davy Grant. You're going with the dog in enemy territory. Let's move on to a fun fight in Kyle Nelson taking on Matt Frivola. Kyle Nelson coming back. Well, both these guys are coming back off of KO losses, right? Nelson was last KO'd by the boxer and Steve Garcia He's a good striker. He has some decent pop, has good takedown defense, and can scramble on the ground in search of top control. Frevola, the steamroller, was last made a meme against Fares Ziam, right?
Mhm.
Fucking coach told him to turn into him. He turned into him, and he got kneed in the face. He got dropped out in France, and they
Yeah.
both took about a year. How long has it been for Frevola? A year ago. So they both took about a year off from their KO losses, which is good, right? We like to see fighters take some time off after getting KO'd. He's a pressure wrestler who continuously comes forward. His striking isn't the best. It's not the most technical. Uh, it's going to be interesting, man. It depends on what side you're on and how you see this fight going, right? Do you see Nelson just putting him out, like stuffing takedowns and knocking him out, or do you see Frevola just getting the takedown and then, getting some ground and pound in? I'm going to go with Frevola here, though. I like his grappling. He should be able to utilize it here if he comes with the grapple heavy game plan. He's unable to exchange with Nelson. If he looks to exchange with Nelson, it's going to be long. So I'm going to go with the American to come into enemy territory and take it.
I'm gonna go with Nelson. I think Nelson. I think Frevola. Oh man, it's just hard because Frevola wants to be a fan pleaser and just brawl, go out there and he tasted that knockout from Dober, right? Like the rush you get after knocking a guy out. I think he goes out there, he doesn't grapple. I think he gets excited. He might mix it up at the beginning, but later in the round, if the fight hasn't finished, I think he's gonna try and go for, you know, let's brawl. Let's machismo. Let's see who could outland the other. I'm gonna go with Nelson on this one.
Yeah,
Canadian soil,
and
baby.
and Fervola's last two fights were against top guys, man.
Yeah.
Benoit Saint Denis, Fares Yam, Prior to that, he was on a little streak. Whereas Cal Nelson, Billy Algio, Fernando Padilla.
Well,
Hmm, interesting. Right on. We're on opposite ends in this fight. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun fight, I think. Next up, we got Cody Gibson taking on Aroki Ling. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go with Gibson. I think he's going to be more aggressive. He's going to be able to get some takedowns. So Gibson's going to get it done here.
yeah, and like I put a money line on Gibson. He's right now saying he started at a minus 120. Now he's at a minus 180. Um, Great grappler. Like once he gets his shit together, bro is like a gum, bro. Bro gets on
Yeah.
you, he neutralizes you. Ariel, we saw what happened with Arioling against Rosas Jr. Rosas Jr. is good, but I think Cody Gibson has if not the same or as much grappling in this one, so that's why I'm a little bit concerned. Cody Gibson has been training with at Vegas, 2 times a day. Extreme Couture, a little bit of research, a little bit more research on Cody because I wanted to kind of check if there were better odds, and not only like the conditioning aspect, but sorry, with the boys at Extreme Couture, he's going to the Performance Institute, so he's getting his conditioning, his nutrition is up, and everything. Versus our Leoc, there hasn't been that much footage. I know he's doing strength training, I know he's doing all this different stuff, but I don't know if he's going to show up with a different coach. I know he's at the same coach he's been when then it's I think it's like Phoenix or like around like that Texas area. I'm gonna go with Gibson, man. Gibson should get it done here.
Yeah, Gibson's going to be the pick. Aroki Ling, he's mainly a striker, right? And as you mentioned, Raul Rosas was able to have his way with him on the ground. He took him down 3 times, controlled him for 7.5 minutes, a third of the fight in a 3-round fight, right? Controlled him for a third of the fight. So I think Cody, like the way Cody Gibson's aggression is, like if he comes out how he came out last time out, I
Against
think yeah,
against Lecture, right?
against Blackshear, he should be able to get it done here. So I'm pretty confident in him. I'm just pulling up something, but yeah, we're both going with Gibson to get it done. We'll move on to our next bout. We have Jazzy Baby taking on Manon Ferro. Ferro is coming off of the lost to Valentina Shevchenko for the title, right? A lot of people felt that she could have won that fight, but I thought it was a clear win for Shevchenko in that fight. When you look at Firo, she's a big girl. She's big for the division. She looks tall. She looks like she could fight at a higher weight class. She can strike. She can throw with power. She has good get up game if she's taken down. She has an 87% takedown defense. She can also offensively grapple if she needs to. Her striking, although powerful, isn't that technical. One of the things we talk about in the Shevchenko fight. Shevchenko's a really good counter striker, right? Who does have grappling. Her grappling has gotten better throughout the years. We saw it against Alexa Grasso, and Shevchenko was able to control her and take her down 2 times for a total of 2 minutes, roughly. I'm rounding up. And then she's going up against Jasmine Jasdovicius, who's a wrestler and usually sets up her takedowns with her strikes. She has really nice wrestling entries. She maintains really good top control when she has you on the ground. And, this is a tough fight for Jasmine Jasdovicius, and I really like her. I really like her fighting style. And I think I look at two fights. I look at the Erin Blanchfield fight against Manon Fiorot, and I look at Jasmine Jasdovicius. And one of the things I criticized Blanchfield for in the past is her takedown entries, right? I think, against Rose Namajunas, we kind of said that in the fourth and fifth round. Her strike, she's not setting them up well. She's predictable in them. And it shows, right? When Blanchfield went against Ferro, she shot for 3 takedowns. She was unsuccessful in all of them. She was outstriked on the feet. And she lost. So I'm gonna go with Jasmine here, man. I think Jasmine, she's gonna be smart. I think she's gonna be able to get some takedowns. It's gonna be an interesting fight. 3 rounds. We'll see how it looks, man. But it's gonna be a tough fight.
And I'm gonna go with Manon Fiorot. I think she had one of the best rounds out of any contender that's fought Valentina, not named Amanda Nunes. I think she did very good. It was just a lot of pressure. It's your first fight fighting a champion. I think flyweight is hot. Flyweight is the best women's division right now, better than bantamweight. Bantamweight stagnant as fuck. I think flyweight is the division you want to be at. I thought Manon was going to be taller, had more reach than Jasmine, Juicy J, but she doesn't. And like this is one of those fights where Jasmine really needs to press her, not give her time to formulate a striking range, because that's the thing about it. If you look at Jazzy J, and she could potentially be the Habib of that division, right? But is she going to do that? Is she going to kind of go in, put her head down, and just press her against the cage? Now, Manon Fiorot had very good takedown defenses against Valentina as well. She landed a couple, right? If I'm not mistaken. But it was a very tactical decision where Valentina imposed her experience. With that being said, champ, I'm gonna go with Manon Fiorot. I got her in a parlay. I think she gets it done. But that first round is going to tell us who should win that fight, by the way. Because like I said, if JZJ comes in and takes her down or presses her and gets up, takes her down again, we know what kind of a night we're in for.
Right on. You said she had the best round against Valentina Shevchenko. Alexa Grasso submitted her
Yeah,
in the
nah,
fourth
bro.
round.
Yeah,
No?
yeah, she did, bro. But I just feel it was more competitive. Like there was something with Grasso and her that was like, you're right. I forgot about that. But I just liked how Fjord handled that.
Right on. She's
Really,
big, man. That's the scary thing. We'll see how Jazzy and the game plan comes into play, but I wouldn't be surprised if Fiorot gets it done. She's a heavy favorite, right? But typically, people coming off of championship fights do look good, man. Look at Diego Lopez, how he came back, right, against Gene Silva. So maybe she comes in like that, or maybe she doesn't, right? We'll see.
let's see the
We'll see.
inspiration. Let's see the inspiration, right?
We'll see. Yep, we'll see. Next up, we got Marlon Vera taking on Marlon Vera's only 32 years old. I feel like he's older, bro.
No, bro.
Jesus. I thought he was 36. My boy is 32.
Yep.
Jeez. He's going up against I thought Zahabi was the young the younger fighter, man. Listen, I'll keep it simple, I'll keep it short, I'll keep it sweet. Ayman Zahabi is a striker. He comes forward. He doesn't have the best footwork. He's flat footed. You want to talk about, at the start of the show, you talked about, Montel Jackson's footwork. You just talk about Ayman Zahabi. What do you think about his footwork, man?
It's like a line of cocaine and go forward, bro. That's what it feels like. He's just like, it's very volume, bro. It's
Yeah.
volume, right?
Yeah, he has nice boxing, but he has nice boxing, but he doesn't throw with a lot of volume. He'll throw big shots. He's well rounded. Aldo, 45-year-old Aldo, who confirmed he was 45 years old, knocked him down. I think it was a kick. Was a kick to the head? What was it? Was it a kick to the head?
It was something in the second round. Yeah, second
Yeah,
round. Second
yeah.
round.
Like he was moving backwards and he dropped them, and then obviously Aldo didn't have the cardio, but he took him down in the third round and was landing some ground and pound, and he still lost that fight, which was baffling to me, right? Like I thought Aldo should have won that fight. It was his last fight, and to lose to an Ayman Zahabi is a bad note to go off on, right? But you look at Vera, he's primarily a striker who is good on the ground. He can scramble well enough and search for submissions. Figgy last time out dropped him for the first time. He does have a granite chin, right? Solid chin. And he's just, you know, let's see. Dominic Cruz, he's riding off the hype of the KO. He lost to Sanhagen. He beat Pedro Munoz, lost to Sean O'Malley, and then lost to Davis Figueiredo, man. So he's inconsistent, right? And somewhat unpredictable. So, you know, do you go with the guy with all the momentum or do you go with the younger guy in Chito Vera who does have championship experience, does have 5 round experience? What do you think?
I
I'm
mean,
gonna lean with Vera here. I
yeah.
don't like Sahabi's footwork. I think Vera on the feet might find some decent strikes to the body, right? But we'll see, man.
So I'll tell you what I see, right? Like this guy has put on a very good winning streak. Now, the thing that the Javid Bashrat fight, right? We see that, and Javid coming undefeated. He just kind of weaponized that pace and took over. Pedro Munoz and Jose Aldo. I see two fighters that were very good in 2016. That they just kind of hanged in there. They like to fight, but they're not top 15 anymore. That's what
Yeah.
I'm seeing, right? And I'm seeing like, would Sahabi have the same? You've put Sahabi with his experiences now against the 2017, 2000 Jose Aldo. I don't think he survives. Aldo
No,
was
not at all.
fighting, and this is my issue with this fight, is that Marlon Vera has been facing very top opposition. Now, where it gets dicey for me, bro, is that Marlon has Marlon Vera when he's on, he's on. But sometimes he has the tendencies to kind of admire his opponents, um, their work a little bit too much. It doesn't go for the kill, or kind of
Mhm.
drags and follows them. So I'm gonna go with Vera here, but he wins if he does not Zahabi to dictate the pace. Zahabi could move and do
Yeah.
point finding, but if Vera locks in and goes for his punches, fine. But I don't want that. I've seen this shit before where Vera just kind of like, I don't know, bro. Like what's the word I want? I'm looking for the word here. He kind of stares at his opponent but doesn't do shit. And we've seen him like follows them up, right? Like follows them up. So I don't know. I'm going with Vera here, but I really hope that Vera, is able to kind of get that killer instinct done.
Yeah. Should be a fun fight. We'll see, man. We got next up our co-main event: Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. It's an interesting fight, man. What version of Kevin Holland are we gonna see, right? Because up against Gregory Rodriguez, he didn't look good, and he's one of those guys that's up and down, up and down, up and down, right? But at welterweight, he is a lot better than he was previously seen on middleweight. He has solid striking, he has the range, he has technique, he has poor takedown defense, but he isn't a slouch on the ground. He has good scrambles, exceptional BJJ, and can fight well off his back. Uh, Mike Mallet, he has 16% takedown defense. He has solid kickboxing and kicks that can fight well at range and incorporate wrestling if needed. He looked gun shy up against Giles and bounced back and knocked out Chuck Buffalo in UFC. What was that? Ontario, I think it was, right? The Bilal Muhammad card. So
No,
when I look at this,
Montreal. Yeah.
whatever,
No, that was Montreal,
Montreal.
Quebec.
Oh, Montreal. Okay, so Montreal. I'm sorry. Montreal, right? So he's fighting back at home in Canada. I look at these two fights and I look at the size, man. I look at the size. Like I think about Mike Mala against Neil Magny, right? Neil Magny kind of has a similar, I want to say similar frame to like Kevin Holland, right? He's that long, rangy, tall striker who could fight good in the clinch. Uh, he's gonna have an 8-inch reach advantage, Kevin Holland, man. And I think we're gonna see Kevin Holland have that flow where he's talking shit, throwing jabs, throwing strikes, entertaining. Uh, I'm gonna go with Kevin Holland, man, based on the size and reach. I think he bounces back from the Gregory Rodriguez, man. Gregory Rodriguez is a thug, bro. He's from LA, bro. He came to scrap that night. And I don't know what was up with Kevin Holland. He didn't look like himself. He wasn't normal talking his shit, doing all that. But I think he's gonna punk. He's gonna punk Mike Malott, bro. He's gonna.
So So with this fight, I'm going with Kevin, but I'll say a couple different things. I don't know what's his mental status, like
That's the
where he's
thing. Yeah.
at. You don't know where he's at, bro, because when he went to the Rampage, he wanted to fight Rampage Jacks. He want because that's the thing, bro. It's like these fighters, bro,
Bro,
have
do you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but do you think Gregory Rodriguez kind of like he saw the tattoos? He's like, oh, this dude's actually from the hood. Like, I'm gonna behave a little bit. I'm
no,
not gonna talk
bro.
my shit. Yeah, he's like,
You-
I'm not gonna talk my shit. Cause he normally, when he thrives, bro, is when he's talking shit, bro, throwing jabs, like what he was doing with Luke. Remember what he was doing with Luke? He was just talking shit in the center of the octagon, just throwing jabs, talking shit, and he ultimately got the sub.
I have to say, I've never seen Rodriguez better, but he's like, and it was the way he locked in that fight. I just think he just really discovered himself because he was not.
He
He
wasn't
didn't.
supposed to win that fight, bro.
He wasn't
Holland
supposed
was
to
supposed
fight.
to win that fight.
Yeah, that's what they brought him in, but
Yeah.
all of a sudden, my guy putting, but because like fucking Alex Morono fought him, and that fight was a little bit like like
Bro, did you see the interview where they asked Kevin Holland, "What do you think about Mike Malott?" He's like, "Who's Mike Malott?" He's like, "That's the guy you're fighting." He's like, "I'm fighting Mike Malott. I thought I was fighting Jake Matthews." So he doesn't even he doesn't even know. He thought he was fighting Jake Matthews, bro. He doesn't even know who he's fighting, bro.
like I said, bro, like he likes to make money. I know like
That's pretty bad though. Now that I think about it, he doesn't even know his opponent, bro. Maybe he
bro,
could have
like
been trolling, but
uh, yeah, but even still, like the thing is, Kevin Holland is a serious situation. Now the only thing is, bro, like does he gas out? Because that's my man look bad, bro. That conditioning is now. Here's the thing: my Malad is a very technical fighter, right? And he doesn't have that many openings.
do
This
you
is what
see it? Do you see an opportunity where he throws a kick and then Holland catches it like Luke, takes him down and then submits him?
there's always that, but it has to happen in the first round or in the second early. Like that's, but I just think if you're Holland here, bro, you're gonna throw shit at him. You're gonna see what's gonna land. You're gonna try to utilize that cross. You're gonna because, but like I said, Malott was at one time the striking coach for Team Alpha Male. He's very technical, and we got to remember, I went to see Malott live in Toronto. That's where 297 comes into play. UFC 297. And he was winning the first and second round. He was dominating those rounds. The issue was he slipped, and then Magny, just as a veteran,
Yeah, he gave up.
got yeah, like it just he put it on him, finished him, and like look, we did to Jake Matthews too. I mean, we have our let's see if it gets contested too, right? I'm gonna go with Holland here. I think Holland, kind of comes back from this. This reach is gonna be a little bit of an issue, but if Malad's able to have good technique and like try to that's the thing, bro. Like you could have good technique, but how much are you gonna absorb?
Yeah. How's he gonna close the distance, right? How's he gonna get in within his striking range without Holland, utilizing his reach? Like, gonna be an interesting fight, man. I think
Holland
we're gonna
is
see.
big
I
though.
think we're gonna see Holland back into his talking. I have a feeling he's gonna be back into his talking shit, and we could also be surprised, bro. Malik can come in here and do what he did to Radke. Do what he did to
Yeah,
Radke
well,
at home.
I had Raki winning. I had Raki. Sorry, I had Malott winning. But what I was gonna say was, I think he's become Chinny Holland. I like. I just what Rodriguez did to him, bro. How many times did he stun him? A lot of times, right?
Twice.
Twice. I thought it was more. Those boys were fucking. But anyways, I'm gonna go with Malad. Sorry, Kevin Holland here, and like, bro, he last fought Vicente 4 months ago, then took a fight 2 months, 3 days, 3 weeks notice. But that's the other issue is like these guys. I don't think Kevin let his body rest. You feel me? He
That's the
took
thing too.
yeah,
That's the
because
thing
now
too.
because when did he become the main event? Because I think Kevin just needs 8 weeks or 6 weeks now. Like he's become that guy that just give me 6 weeks, give me 8 weeks, and I'll be ready. But prior to that, Gunnar Nelson 6 months ago, and then 2 months later, he fought Vicente Luque, and then 3 months, like a
Yeah,
month later,
he's been fighting frequently. He's been fighting
right?
frequently.
So it's like maybe that little that distance there was enough, right? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Holland.
Right on. We're both going with Han to get it done. Should be a fun fight. We'll see. Next up, we have Renee De Ritter taking on Brendan Allen in the main event. Now, essentially you have a grappler versus a grappler, right? But there's different levels of grappling, man. And I think the Ritter's grappling is going to be a touch above Brendan Allen. Allen is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. He likes to grapple. He has decent striking. I've said this in the past. He doesn't necessarily mix the two well. His fight against Hernandez or Imavov, right? Against Imavov, he was just, you know, when the grappling wasn't working, he should have tried to strike with Imavov a bit, right? Especially after that second or third round when the power and the speed wasn't the same. But he looked desperate. He kept shooting for the takedown. He kept shooting the takedown. He was unsuccessful. Uh, and then Hernandez, he tried to wrestle when his striking was working. He was looking good on the feet. I think he even tagged Hernandez at one point. They didn't
Yep.
drop him or anything, but he tagged him pretty clean, and then he decided to shoot for the takedowns. Against Vittori, it was a grudge match that was mainly striking. However, he was able to secure 3 or 4 takedowns. When you look at the Ritter, man, he has world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's aggressive in his submission attempts and his hunt for submissions. He can throw guillotines, triangles, rear naked chokes. He has solid clinch work with a background rooted in judo, right? He looks to throw in those knees. His knee to the body is like a jab for him, right? He threw that how many times against Robert Whitaker?
A lot.
He's comfortable off his back. He uses sweeps and transitions to reverse positions, and he's fought at a high level, man. He's a former champ who only lost to a guy who was 2 divisions bigger than him, right? A heavyweight when he was a middleweight, Anatoly Malkin. I think the Ritter's going to be too big for Allen to get the grappling going. Even if he does take him down, I just think it's a different level of grappling, man. I think the Ritter should win here. I don't think this fight goes the distance. I think the Ritter's going to look to make a statement and argue for that title shot next.
And get it done. I'm gonna go with RDR. I think like and also like I think one of the reasons why this bet is close, and when I say close, it's minus 195 right now. RDR sitting at, but
Yeah,
I think what people are looking at from Brendan Allen is somebody a little bit more explosive, and I'm all for that. But the thing is, RDR continues, bro, to defy odds. He continues to. Robert Whitaker was supposed to knock him out. What happened? He just notified the striking. Both of them kind of connected each other, but RDR, even if it was a split decision. Remember, I told you like RDR won this. There's no way Whitaker wins.
yeah.
Um, Bo Nickel, man, what a way to like stop somebody's grappling. Like and that's the thing about it. Like if Brendan Allen loses, he should fight Bo Nickel, and we could see how advanced that man's striking is. Sorry,
I think Bo Nichols fighting Rodolfo Vieira.
yeah, that's gonna be a telling fight, right? That's gonna be a very telling fight. I'm gonna go with RDR, man. Like I feel like it can be as massive because people are still saying, well, Allen has grappling. Well, Allen also has good striking, but I think he fatigues. He's taking this fight on a short notice. 3 weeks for 1 month, right? One month. I
It
don't
should be around 1 month. Yeah, I
I don't
think it
know,
got announced before October, probably like 2 3 weeks.
2 3 weeks, right? Like I I don't like Allen starts to get tagged after the second, third round. So here's the thing, champ. Like I think this is live, kind of like a live bet odds. If you're going to the first round, you could expect Allen to put a pace on the Ritter. Maybe he wins that first round, and that's where I kind of slap money on RDR. Like I think RDR is going to do phenomenal things after the second round. And like I said, like it's hard to deny RDR, man. Bigger fighter, 6'4". There's not that much, but bro, this is a heavyweight fighting a middleweight right now.
Essentially, yeah, if you want to say that, he's like a light heavy.
Light heavy.
He's a big guy. Yeah, and then look, since he's been into the UFC, a lot of people weren't familiar with his game, but I've always got him as an underdog. As an underdog against Gerald Mearshot, I had him as a dog, picked him. I think you were on Mearshot's side, right? Holland picked him as a dog. I also got the sub prop bet
We also, yeah, I
plus
also
money. Bo Nickel was a dog. I think you picked Nickel, right? You were still in you drinking the juice.
going
You
Nick.
got him as a dog. Yep. And then now he's the favorite. Oh, against Whitaker, you still weren't believing in a RDR. I had him as a dog there, so now he's the favorite here. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But he's
Yeah,
been looking good, man. Look at that. That's a it's a pretty good UFC debut, man. Because recently, people who've been coming over have been giving killers and been going through it, right? And I feel like they got surprised with RDR a bit, right? They're like they didn't. I don't think they expected him to be
This
this
good.
good,
This
this
guy's
good,
good.
and already challenging for a title. Because typically when they have these champions come from other organizations, they give them top five, and they're like, "Listen, we're gonna humble you a bit, brother. We're gonna humble you a bit." Kaya Sakura, who else? Uh, Patchy Mix, right? What's the other cat's name that fought Lerone Murphy?
Well, even like last night,
Pico. Pico.
Pico, yeah. Well, Pico started. Pico's like,
He's like a Michael Chandler, bro.
no, Mike one, chill, bro. Mike one is,
He's like a Michael Chandler, bro. I'm
nah,
just
bro.
kidding. He
Mike
is
one,
good wrestling. He is really good grappling. That
bro.
was a tough fight. Lerone Murphy's too good.
I know he's good. And I was gonna say this. The thing is, the one fighters like there was a one fighter last night that fought Juan
Hmm.
Diaz, and my boy came out wanted to strike, and Juan Diaz put it on him, bro. Like that spinning
Yeah.
kick. I made some dog money there, bro. That was a good fight. Um,
It's like Chapulin, DC's guy. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. He was a champion in LFA, and he likes to strike, but he's taken down, man. Like it's levels. It's different levels, man. It's different levels. And then in the Contender Series, did he win his fight or did he lose?
I think he
Chapulin,
won. I think he won, but they
but they
didn't
didn't
give.
sign him, huh?
He was the only guy that didn't sign. They don't
Yeah.
like decisions, bro. They just want to hire guys that are going to knock other people out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's good ratings, man.
That's the thing. But yeah, we're going to close it down with RDR. Then I think he takes it. And like I said, the live bet for me happens as of the second round. That's when. And I'm going to the cottage this week, and I got to close her up, so I'm going to be fully locked in. The bets, oh yeah, but when you put me in the cottage, I'm able to just submerge
Yeah.
myself a little bit more because there's no distractions, no computer. Um, I even got cable over there, which is crazy. Uh,
Nice.
but yeah, man, I think RDR gets it done. I think RDR, like I said, I'm going for the second round live bet that Allen has so much success on the feet that they go into the second round and all of a sudden they flip on. So now all of a sudden RDR is the underdog. That's when I'll put money.
Right on. If you want to see all of Sergio's bets, make sure you follow us at Combat Sport Guys, live bets. Show some love. We're out. Peace.